But again, if you look at all of this, from what we gathered yesterday, it would seem that these are people around. If someone has someone who has had a thing with the Nigerian military as one of those that is now on the wanted list, and we're getting to see how they were also transported and how they snatched vehicle to come perpetrate this act, it means that there are a lot of things that we need to do as a people, because if you go to a police station to report maybe a stolen vehicle, by now we should know that that information should go around the country so that we can be on the lookout for such. Because from what we gathered, they moved the vehicle from another place to Abuja. So it comes down to information from everyone on this particular matter, away from movement, to vehicles that have been snatched, to people reporting cases, to people acting on those information given to them.
Yes, you see, we always quick to say the president is not doing anything. Oh, president is clueless. Oh, president is that. President is this. Oh, if it was President Obama. And you forget that President Obama cannot stop anything if people do not pass information to his security agents. It is in something like in the United States that you hear somebody phone the police and say, my son, I don't understand the movements of my son. I think I saw him touch this or move that or do that. Or my son came back and there was blood on his shorts. If you're talking about a murder or something. But here, even if you see your son kill somebody, it is you that will say it never happened. And you expect President Jonathan to now know what you're doing and then come and arrest the person. So we as citizens have a responsibility to report suspicious moves. Or if your car is snatched, you don't just walk into a police station. Even if you're afraid, oh, if I report that I saw this happening there, the police might not expose me. There are numbers now. Call and say, look, so area, so something like this was happening. You can call the police, you can call the SS, their numbers are everywhere now. So we have a responsibility if we want to protect ourselves.
In other words, I mean, we imagine that.
If you want to go further, you see, everybody collects security votes. So the president collects his own too. Now the state governors collect their own. The local government chairman collect their own. Let's even talk about our girls. In quotes, the Chibok thing. The governor, because the next they tell you, no, the police reports only to the president, the army reports to the president, everybody reports to the president. So what are you doing with this? Why are you still collecting security vote? What are you doing with it? Don't touch it, stop touching it. So we know you don't have any responsibility.
We don't even know how much the vote is.
And you cannot do it. You don't know how much they take. You can't ask questions about how they spend the money. Meanwhile, you say everything security should go to Abuja. Now, we've had security problems before. We had in Odua here. It was the Yoruba leaders that sorted it out. We had in South. It was the leaders in that area that sorted it out. Nobody went to march or campaign in Abuja. How come that this one is happening and the northern leaders are not doing anything about it? Everybody is marching to Abuja.
Okay, but we can say some of them are. But maybe you need a lot more coordination.
Well, I would like to. Can you give me an example of one and so we can address this?
Several people have spoken about it. There are several leaders.
Speaking about it is not what we're talking about. They went there to sort it out. They didn't come to channel to talk about it.
Would we say, Mr. Odidika, that these problems are the same? Because here we are with a problem that looks like something that's also found roots in other parts of the world. Terrorism is not something that people deal with and with kids' glove. But by that I mean that you might not be able to identify who these people are. It might be something that is important. If they're getting international funding from what we hear and have links within Chad, Niger, even Somalia, what is the guarantee that even the leaders there really can have access to those people who are causing the terror?
Do you recall that during President Obasanjo's time, the political elite of some states in the north introduced Sharia? Not Sharia as we knew it, but that Sharia will not govern them. Even though the president then said, oh, it's political Sharia to fade away. Now, if the political elite, who are the leaders, say this is what we want, this is what is going to be happening, what are Boko Haramites asking for? Is it not that this section of Nigeria must be governed by Sharia? One, that even the president, if he's a Christian, must convert to Islam. What is the difference between these two things now?
But isn't
so and then going to the funding aspect. First of all, I hope you know the things they're using are expensive. Whether it's the bombs, whether it's the certain kinds of vehicles. Okay, they snatch some. What about the Toyota Hiluxes that they move around with? And the international funding, do they throw the dollar in the air? These things pass through certain means, through certain avenues. If the banks cannot take care of that, who would? You see, we tend to forget easily. When the bomber was caught in an airline going to bomb the United States, to bomb the United States, people tend to forget that that young man's father is a prominent Nigerian banker. People tend to forget, no matter what. I'm not casting aspersion, but I'm just saying.
Are we also forgetting that this man was also the first person to raise an alarm over what he believed his son could be doing, and he didn't just raise it to any embassy, but the embassy where his son was supposed to be staying. This is definitely an example that we should be putting forward for people to emulate.
If we go into that, the time we have, unless you want to give me the whole 2 hours. If we go into that, to analyze that.
You don't agree with that?
If we go into analyzing that, I'll tell you that that's, even now, if I was in support of my son and do that, that's what I would have done. Because first of all, I remove suspicion from myself. And I'm bigger than my son, because I can sponsor more. So suspicion leaves me at the very worst. Don't forget that these people are, those of them who want to really do this, are bent on, they don't mind dying. So if my son could be caught and maybe executed, but I'm still there to orchestrate a larger and wider damage, to inflict it on the nation, I will do what he did.
I will only ask you one question. As a father, what would you have done?
I just answered that.
No. As a father, because what you've said,
if I'm part of it, if I'm the brain behind it,
shows that what points in the direction that it might not necessarily be that the father wasn't exactly a part of it. Or could have been a part of it, but just to remove all suspicion. But if you truly weren't a part of it, and you truly, decry what your son is about to do, what you think he could become, what would you have done?
First of all, I wouldn't want to be in that situation, honestly speaking. If I'm not part of it, and my son is going to blow up a plane full of people, I will report him. And I'll start reporting from Nigeria, not going to a U.S. embassy or whatever was that again. I'll report it from Nigeria, so that he wouldn't even step out.
I'm actually looking at this report, and from what we gathered from the DSS yesterday, it would seem that what we're dealing with, initially we thought we were dealing with some ragtag, renegade dissidents, but these are intelligent people, because for someone like Aminu Sadiq Oguche, who was in the army, we understand he was an intelligence officer, and he also served in Lagos between 2001 and 2006, and as you put it, he was once arrested on his way back from the United Kingdom. But human rights groups fought on his side, and he was released. But one would have thought that he still would have been monitored before all of that happened.
How many, if you talk about monitoring, how many people are going to monitoring? There are a lot of soldiers, there are a lot of intelligence officers. What I said earlier is that these human rights activists, who are businessmen and women, should let the security agencies do their work, and the judicial officers, the judges, should also do their work. You see, we're in a kind of war situation, and in a war situation, certain things are breached, certain rights are breached.
But it's still within certain regulation.
Yes, that's why you have Terrorist Act. So apply it, implement it. Now, we have allowed, you see, I'm trying to be careful the word, because there's a mass hysteria now, and if you want to politically correct, you must talk like that. You must condemn this or condemn that, even where I'm not sure there's anything to be condemned. Because I still go back to the chip, because it looks to me like there is a massive campaign that is well oiled, well orchestrated, that's going on. I didn't start today. When you go to the Chibok girls issue, there are so many gaping holes that you will start to wonder, was there actually, first of all, you can't call it kidnap. You don't kidnap 300 people. That's not kidnap again now. That's the evacuation. 300 people kidnap. That's 1-2 people. You don't kidnap 300 people. Now, how could, my father was a principal, both boys' schools and girls' schools, and he knew his students by name. Meanwhile, the principal doesn't know the number of students in her school. How can a government, state government, say, look, come and hold the exams, come and conduct the exams. I will provide security if need be. In a remote area, not even one farmer with a gun was sent by the government to that school as added security.